Okay, so this video is part of a squat routine. Now, you might have seen it in different videos out there from different people, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff. The importance of sitting in a deep squat, which is this. Now, this is important for quite a few reasons. One is that it's quite functional. In fact, if you go to a lot of countries, in the East, Eastern Asia, Middle East, this is actually a common resting position for a lot of people. They sit here on the streets, they eat, they chat, whatever. And also it just works on the body's ability to fold in all these different ways. I'm folding here the hips, the knees, the ankles, and I honestly find it a really good resting pose. Now, you might think I'm crazy because in the beginning, you might think that this is not comfortable, but once it gets comfortable, and it's pretty comfortable for me right now, it's such a liberating pose to be in, especially like when I go out partying or I'm standing for a long time, when I come into this position, my body's like, such a relief. So it's a very useful position. And if you want to take this further into more advanced movement things, it's being able to move from a squat in different positions and monkey around and use different crawling patterns. It's a really important position to be comfortable in. So for now, we're just going to start sitting in a squat. Now, you might be comfortable to just sit here. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But if you find it hard to even bring yourself down here and be comfortable, then there's a couple solutions for that, especially with a lot of people who can't bring their heels down to the floor. It's totally fine if you can't do that for now. It's mostly an ankle mobility limitation. So what we can do is we can use some elevation underneath the ankle. Now, I don't recommend using a back block because that's just too high unless you really need that because of your body. But I would recommend having a couple of books or like a rolled towel or a rolled mat even, just to provide some support and relief for under the heels. So you can bring the heels down onto a solid surface. You want it to be solid, not very soft. And we're just gonna sit here. The arm position, we wanna drive the knees out. So if you find the knees collapsing inwards, you wanna drive them out. You can use the support of your elbows, bring them on the inside, and press out gently. The hands can come into this sort of prayer position. If you bring the fists together, it's a little bit more intense. Do fingertips, whatever you resonate with. And we're just gonna sit. Now, for those of you who are comfortable in a seated position like that, there's a couple of things you could do. We're going to talk about more advanced things later, but what I would recommend is bringing the elbows into the legs and always start pressing things out. Driving the knees out with the elbows. You will feel it on the groin area, a little bit on the inner thighs. I'm going to sit here. I would recommend at least a minute. Maybe do it more than that. A few minutes, 2 to 3 minutes is a good thing to aim for. Another thing you could do, again, we'll add more complexity later, but is to bring maybe one forearm or even the hand on one side and start isolating that side as we press it out. It's almost like a couple of pulses out. It could be the elbow, it could be the whole hand. We'll be doing it about 10 times or so, and then going to the other side. Remembering to breathe wherever you are. Nice. That should be it. You can slowly make your way out of this and move on. Cheers.